Hello everyone and welcome to FCA Fridays. Today I'm going to be talking with you about 8 things that other people love to do that I don't really care for and I don't like, and I feel very judged by the world for this. Loads of people have told me opposing opinions to my own, which is fine. We're all different, and sometimes things are about culture, but I live in America, and there are some things that are like American staples, oddly enough, that I'm not 100% on. In fact, I'm barely even 10% on, and I get the looks, all those expressions from people when I tell them I don't like these things. So here are things that you probably like, and if you don't, you should let me know so that we can experience misery loves company. That is a saying. I don't know who started the saying, but it seems to be true. So if you also don't like these things and don't understand why other people love them, let us get to know each other. I have some explanations for why people like these, but let's get to know each other. See that my hands smell amazing. That might seem a little TMI, but I'm using the Bath and Body Works Georgia Peach hand soap, and let me tell you, the scent is very, very addictive. I love just kind of washing my hands. Into the video. I don't like the movie theater experience. I don't like being around a lot of crowds. I'm not a big fan of crowds because humans have become absolutely crazy. Some of you are crazy. Maybe not you personally. I like you. You're watching me. But humans are crazy. There's people who are attacking people every time you turn around. People are overly sensitive. And I am an aggressively emotional person. I'm very in tune with my emotions, and I'm, unfortunately for me, very empathetic about anything going on around me. So if I'm into the movie, I'm not the biggest movie goer. I don't love movies. I like them, but I don't love them the way some people do. But when I'm into a movie, I'm very immersed. I'm down. I'm in. But I feel so much feels for characters that I cry openly, and I tend to cry just too hard. I'm a bad person to be in a movie theater. I make it sound like, oh, it's other people who are the problem. No, I'm the problem in a movie theater. You don't want to take me to the movies. I'm one of the people, I talk to the characters. Don't do that. Why would you do that? Why would you? No! Oh! I get genuinely scared, I get really angry, or I laugh too much and I laugh too loud, or sometimes I find something funny and the rest of the world doesn't, and I still laugh, and there's so much judgment, just all of the judgment. If there's one place you don't want to be loud at the wrong time, it's in a movie theater. It's disrespectful to other people, and you know, the price, the cost, the uncomfortable seating, and I'm really short, so me trying to find a movie seat where the person in front of me is taller than me, which is most of the planet, I'm just not a fan. Ooh, Pulp Fiction. Speaking of movies, Pulp Fiction is a movie that everyone seems to think is a classic and they love it. I've seen it numerous times by force. I just don't like it. I'm not a fan. And I know what you're saying. I feel your face in my brain. I know that people were like, Pulp Fiction is amazing. It was video photography, cinematographic genius. You just don't like it because you don't understand the circular and non-linear pattern of things. And that's, okay, first of all, fine. You got me. I prefer a linear storyline because I like books and thus do not like a at least somewhat contingent, consistent storyline. When I'm watching a movie, I don't want to have to press my brain too hard to follow the story. And Pulp Fiction's just a lot of crazy for me. But the main reason I don't like that isn't because that cinematographic way is terrible. I really just don't like the lack of character development, and I can't get into a story that's not really present. If I just get a few snippets of things, that's great for a YouTube video that's designed for that. But for a movie, I want something that I can get into. I want to know what I'm watching, and I want character development. That's my favorite part of anything, is character development. And there's just not enough of it. If they provided a little more time, like towards Samuel L. Jackson's character, which had loads of character development and was thus my favorite character, everyone else, I'm like, why? What are you about? I don't understand. And I know you're not supposed to understand. Whatever. And you can like Pulp Fiction. I don't think you're stupid for liking it. I just don't. But I know a lot of people do, and I can still feel your eyes going into my heart. Thank you, human. Theme parks or fairs or carnivals. People really love those things. They're very crowd attracting things. There's supposedly a lot of stuff to do, but I find them to be too expensive, and quite frankly, with the number of people there are in the world, every time I go to theme parks, I end up being miserable because I hate waiting in line. I hate waiting in line for 10 minutes to get vital things like groceries. I certainly don't like standing in line for a 2-minute ride. They need to start making rides at theme parks last a lot longer to make the wait a lot more worthwhile. I don't do roller coasters. I'm afraid of those. I don't do heights. And most of the stuff I really enjoy is either for children, I can't get into it anymore, or there's just a giant line and I just get done with it. I find it to be too expensive. And people love fair food, which I don't understand. Maybe it's because I'm a slight health nut, not entirely, but I just can't do the fair food. But people love going to those things. I find it to be very hot, very crowded, very miserable, and very smelly because I don't know why, but I guess hygiene isn't the most popular thing. And being around a bunch of hot, sweaty people who are also grumpy about how much it is to get in and waiting in long lines, just not a good time to me. I don't do concerts. Concerts are another thing that just attract the crowds. And as you may be noticing a little theme here, I don't like being around large crowds of people. And concerts are, I've been to 2 concerts, which some people love going to concerts, and I understand why. You get to see your favorite band live, singing their music, dancing to songs with a whole bunch of other people, and you're with a bunch of others who agree with your opinions and you feel validated in your life. For me, I'm short. And most concerts require you to stand. I dislike, because I'm never in a position, because I'm never going to pay enough to be anywhere close to the front, and there's always a long line of people. It's expensive, again, and I can't hear the band over the crowd yelling, cheering, and clapping most of the time. And most of the time I can't see over the crowds of people, and people are rude, and goodness forbid, I like some screamo music and some punk music, which were the 2 kinds of the first concert I ever went to was that kind of concert, and those people are not polite. At least the ones that I went to were not polite. I think that you can like screamo music or like underground indie bands and be civil. That just doesn't occur to others. Running. If you see me running, you need to follow me, because I don't run. I've tried to I like to be healthy. I've mentioned in a lot of my vlogs and a lot of my stuff that I enjoy being healthy and I love working out. But I don't like to run, but a lot of people get this runner's high. It's a very common and encouraged thing, but I hate doing it. I can't get runner's high. I have ran for an hour. I have ran many miles before. I just don't get it. And people love doing it and they encourage it and they're like, it takes a little bit to get into, and I tried doing it for months and stuff. It's not for me. I have a theory about running related to FCA. I am not meant to run. I am meant to be carried. So if there's a zombie apocalypse, feel free to be near me. You will survive, because guess who's the bait? Crowds all put together. Haunted houses or haunted anything. You can haunted blank. I don't do them. People love to be scared. There's an adrenaline, norepinephrine rush, which is usually followed by an endorphin rush, which people get a kick out of. They like to be scared. They like to test their limits or whatever. FCA does not do this. I don't like to be scared. I don't mind a little bit of stuff, but I generally don't like to feel the feeling of fear. I've said before, I am very emotional and very empathetic, so terror is just that, and horror things. I can handle a little bit. I'm not afraid of, say, Chucky dolls. I'm not afraid of thriller killer movies and things of that nature, but I am easily freaked out otherwise, and I'm just not a big fan of boo. Not for me. Not for me. Not for me is this really odd appreciation that a lot of humans have for the after the rain and the smell of cut grass. Now, a lot of people with allergies are terrified of cut grass, and there is nothing they would rather go through 10 haunted houses than be anywhere near cut grass. But there's this phenomenon of after the rain smell, and humans always say that, oh, I love it after it rains. I love the smell of after the rain. And you know that that's the scent that humans like, because I don't know how they try to capture this, but a lot of air freshening or towel washing machine scents, they always have after the rain, like it's some sort of clean, nice scent. Every time it rains, all I can smell is worms. That's it. That's all I smell is worms. And if you're anywhere near a farm or a place with a lot of animals, you smell worms and doo-doo. Because all of the water washes topsoil off, and so all these worms and insects come up. There's a lot of drowned things. There's the smell of decaying fresh flesh from those drowned things. Nah. But some humans love it, and if that's you, I'm glad that nature enthuses you so. Just that's not the natural scent for yours truly. This one's kind of two. It's sweet wines and coffee. I'm not a big fan of sweet wines, but people who don't like wine, they tend to really like sweet wines, and people like coffee, and they think that I'm weird because I don't like coffee. They're like, how do you life if you don't like coffee? How do you function in the morning without coffee? It's not really a disorder, but caffeine makes me sleepy if I have large amounts of it at once. I don't drink pop either, or soda pop, I don't care where you're from. Carbonated beverage, fizzy drinks, don't drink them. And I don't drink coffee because, one, I don't like the taste. It's disgusting to me. No one in my family drinks coffee. My immediate family, we don't even have a coffee maker at my house because none of us drink it. And people who but there's so many people in this world who say that they like coffee. But then you look at them or you stand in line somewhere with them and they have a bunch of sugar and syrups. And people who like wine, they don't really like the taste of wine. They like the taste of slightly alcoholed fruit juice. Or sometimes you're sitting there drinking a sweet wine and it tastes like liquefied frosting with a little bit of fruit. It's very not for me. And if you like coffee or if you like any of these things, you can tell me in the comment section and I can get to know you better. And again, it's not that I think you're stupid or dumb or have bad taste because you like the things that I dislike. It was just a noticeable thing where there was a lot of people who like movies and Pulp Fiction, theme parks and concerts, running, haunted houses, and After the Rain scent, and sweet wines and coffee. Those just aren't things that are for me. Thank you for joining me and watching me. I will be making FCA Fridays every Friday, and they're all going to be different. Sometimes they're going to be top 8s because 8 is my favorite number, something that I like, and sometimes they're rants, and a lot of times they're random. So I will see you for the next one and for the next Makeup Monday. Join me on more of my ventures, humans.